I'd like to call the regular city council meeting to order for October 15th, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We actually have a pretty full house here tonight, so we should be able to get through everything pretty good. First, I would like to get approval of the minutes for September, our regular city council meeting for September 23rd, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Gary makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Donnie seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The second item is our approval of the minutes from the city council workshop of September 23rd, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Donnie makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So the next item we have is approval of the agenda. And then Laura brought something to my attention that Tony wanted approval of the season campground rate this evening. And so I'd like to add that to the agenda. And then Donnie, I think you have something as
I
well.
would like to add just an FYI about our air system down at the golf course.
Okay, golf
So just those two things.
course air system. Okay, is that fan?
Yes.
Okay. So those are the two items. If I could get a motion to approve the agenda with the two items added.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the two items added.
Jackie makes a motion.
I'll second.
Sarah seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried for that. So the next item we go to is planning and zoning, and we have Jim here to fill us in on that.
We have just two items tonight. The first one is a building permit application by the school district at 112 Kamnick Street to make a 36 by 44 foot concession stand / ticket booth and open air seating west of the football field between the tennis courts, and we didn't have any issues with that. It's an improvement there. And then we have a small accessory structure application by Corey Israelson and Jackie Johnson at 303 Peter Avenue to make a temporary canvas / vinyl steel carport for winter storage. It will be 10 feet by 20 feet by 8 feet high, placed behind the house over the patio, put up in November 2024 and removed by April 30th, 2025. And we recommend that you approve that also as a temporary permit.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope, I'll make the motion
Okay,
to
go
accept
ahead.
them both.
Donnie makes a
second that.
motion. Donnie makes a motion to accept them. Gary seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 I'll abstain since it's my permit.
Okay. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Jim. So the next item we have is the gambling permit for the Pierz Legion Ballpark for the Helly Field raffles for 6/6 of 25. If I could get a motion.
I'll make a motion to
Jack-
approve that.
Jackie makes a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the gambling permit for the Pierz Legion Ballpark Helly Field raffles. The next item we have the Pierz, Minnesota Honor Society here, and they would like to address the council. And you, Jamie?
Jamie, yep.
Jamie, nice to meet you.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. My name is Jamie Strohmeyer, and I am the Honor Society advisor at the school. And every year we do we put out buckets for the community to support the local toy drive that is done at school by Denise Gruber and Michelle Ferguson. So I have some of my members here that want to share a little bit about what we would like to get permission to do starting November.
Hi, I'm Cadence Tice, and with me I have Sam Hoheisel and Kylie Andrea, and we are here to represent the Pierz chapter of Minnesota Honor Society. We would like to ask for your permission to place collection jars in local businesses, with all of the proceeds going towards the 2024 toy drive.
We would like to place jars in the local businesses the week of November 25th and collect the jars on December 9th. This gives almost 2 weeks for donations to be collected. The community toy drive distribution will take place on December 17th.
Last year, the collection buckets in local businesses raised a little over $1,000, and the school coin war competition collected a little over $1,700 for a total of $2,718. The money donated by generous community members and students at Pierz High School helped support a very successful toy drive.
The toy drive has been an outstanding event year after year, and we are hoping that you will continue to support the Pierz Honor Society and allow us to place collection buckets in local participating businesses.
I got a question for you. What were the dates again? You kind of rattled them off kind of fast. I just want to write them down so I can get a motion for it.
So we place the jars in businesses starting November 25th, and then collect them on December 9th.
December 9th.
I will make a motion to approve the Honor Society Toy Drive collection buckets from November 25th through December 9th.
Okay, so Jackie makes a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Sarah seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the jar placement on November 25th through December 9th. So thank you guys, really appreciate it.
Good job.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
everything
much.
you guys do. It should be a fun event for you too.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Thanks, you guys.
So the next item we have is a resolution for the final assessment to be drafted for our road project. We have Jared Griffith here to discuss that.
All right, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. As you stated, there are two resolutions in your packet tonight for your consideration. But first, I want to give you a quick update on our 2024 project. Essentially, we are suspended for the winter. We do have some streetlight bases that will be installed in the next few weeks on the alternate portion. I think that's all we have left is the alternate portion bases to be installed, and then streetlights themselves the poles will be put up once those are available to the contractor. Last I heard, sometime middle of the winter, so like December kind of time frame. But that's just that last update was probably given back in like July. So haven't had anything since then. But essentially, what we were talking about tonight, with where we're at with the project, the next pay up and probably the final pay up for, like I said, for the suspension of this part of the project, should be coming to the next council meeting, not this one. But with that said, I did project out final quantities for total project costs for the remainder of the project. We will be, what I have sitting for us would roughly total construction cost of $1,558,889.88. Grand total of the project for these are all city costs, by the way, not just full project, but just city portion costs. City total project cost $2,053,594. So that $2 million number is the one I want to look at here. In our preliminary budget, we had $2.2 million for a total project. After the low bid, we were sitting at $2,160,000, and now we're projecting it out to be at $2,058,000 is kind of where we're sitting at. So with that as our projected final budget, working with city staff, Public Works Committee, and then also the fiscal advisor, Jason Murray, correct? right, Jason Murray? Yeah, okay, thank you. We went through and we put together kind of our final assessment worksheet, which is similar to what we saw in our preliminary stage. You know, it's this long, big spreadsheet with everybody, all the residents that are benefiting the project. Went through there and updated our assessment rate and then punched that through the rest of the project. Essentially, we are sitting at right now a assessment rate percentage of 24% of the assessable costs, which is 17.8% of the total project costs. The difference there is comes into play as far as there are some portions of the project that are not accessible. You know, like some addition, like the water part of the project that the city has to pay for, and then like street widths, stuff like that are that additional street widths, I should say. Anything beyond 36 feet is not accessible. So total project of the total project cost for the city, 17.8% of that is being assessed essentially. So with that, the first resolution for you tonight is a resolution declaring costs to be assessed and ordering preparation of the proposed assessments. With this resolution, I believe it is also in your packet. Essentially, it states that the construction cost of this project is $1,558,889.88. And then essentially the soft cost of the additional expenses, which were $494,704.12, giving you a grand total of the project being $2,053,594. And then first part of this resolution states that the portion the city plans to invest for this project is $1,742,051.20, and then the amount they plan to our portion there cost to be assessed would be $311,540.80. The next part, second part of that resolution, essentially states that the assessment term will be a 20-year term, starting the 1st of January 2025, and the interest rate will be 4.86%, which is 1% higher than the city bond, which is per your city policy. And then that we will be sending out letters notifying of the assessments. So that is the first resolution up for your consideration. As I said, I worked through the assessment amounts and went through in more detail with your Public Works Committee and also the financial advisor, Jason Murray. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer those right now. But if not, we're looking to first have some action taken on this resolution.
Any of you guys have any questions though?
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
I heard through the grapevine that they poured the wrong concrete on asphalt on the driveways.
Yep.
So for individuals like myself who had the driveway resealed after to make it match.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Well, if you want, the difference in what they put down is they put down a larger aggregate in there is what they did. It's for the surface material. It should be a smaller aggregate is what we usually have, or what the product calls for. They used the mix that they used on their first lift, and they shouldn't have. And so the plan is to come back next in the spring/summer when we do the final lift and repave those areas. To your question about the seal coat of your driveway, I would probably have a discussion with your Public Works Committee on how to handle that if we have that done again or reimburse you. I guess I'm not sure how that would work, but that'd be discussion for the Public Works Committee on how we do that.
Okay. And then, are you doing a walkthrough on all of the streets? Because I noticed that there's some concrete broken that they just poured on like on the corner of Peter and Kamnick?
Well, we will be, yeah. We'll
Okay.
be putting together a punch list. We have a punch list started. Usually we don't do that until closer to the time where we will be replacing those, just in case there are areas, that for instance, curb, right? There may be parts of the curb that is damaged later in the year through the freeze thaw cycle that we want to have replaced, whether it's through weather or through chipping it when you're plowing, just things like that that we want to make sure that we address beforehand.
Okay, so that'll be more addressed kind of spring.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Can I just ask one?
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
I know you have, your presentation, you had the percentage that it was. Do you actually know the cost per parcel that it's gonna be?
Each person varies on their front footage. So, but yeah, I have
Would I be able to get that tonight?
yeah, I mean, I have no issue with that unless it gets to council. I mean, it's going to be mailed out to you. It's in the average. We're going to be putting the paper tomorrow. So either it'll be mailed to you end of this week or beginning next week. But I can, if the council's okay with it, I can show you what that is tonight. I have no issue with that, I guess. But
Yeah, because we're gonna go through that at the hearing, right? The total
yes,
cost.
yeah. I mean, they'll be mailed their individual record of assessments, what it's called, stating what their assessment is, the breakdown of how that came about, and then also it'll provide kind of a breakdown of their payments for over the next 20 years.
I
That
mean,
will be
I don't know
added,
if you guys care. I would just say, I mean, for sake of speeding our meeting up, you could talk to Todd after the meeting and
Sure,
let him
yeah.
know. Is
Yeah.
that okay, you,
That's
Todd?
fine, yeah.
That's fine.
That we don't have to spend all that
Yep.
time on it here.
Agreed.
Okay. So if I could, is that it? Jackie, are you okay with the?
Yeah, I was just
Okay,
wanting to
and
know a
you
couple
guys
of
are
those
good?
things.
Can I get a resolution for the final assessment to be drafted? Jared?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2024-1015-1. Resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering preparation of proposed assessment for the city of Pierz, Morrison County, state of Minnesota.
Okay, Jackie makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So then you're up, then you get now we have to come up with the assessment.
Yeah,
The date.
yeah. So thank you for approving that. And now the next step in the kind of the 429 process is then acting on a resolution ordering the final assessment hearing. So what we had talked about, actually we didn't get to it yet, did we? Later today, you'll be acting on a resolution changing the resolution or the meeting times from 7 to 6. Before I go through this, I would be curious, or would be, I don't know, I'd ask that the council start that after this public hearing, and have that public hearing at 7 o'clock, not 6 o'clock, if that's okay. If not, I can make it work on my end, but it was just I personally have a conflict with that 6 o'clock, so that's why I was.
So if we ever meet, if we ever
Just
council
have
meeting,
it after. the city
you want to have
council
it after
meeting,
our meeting.
Essentially, like after the city council meeting instead of beforehand.
That's up to you if you want to have the council meeting, I guess, at 6 and then have a public hearing at 7. You can do that. I don't think there's any issue with that.
Were you thinking that it would be inside the council meeting?
Usually they are, yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Oh,
Okay.
at least the
I
ones
was-
I've been a part of. Not to say that you can't do what
Right.
you want to do.
well, what do you guys are kind of, it's you and Gary, what do
You
you
have a
would
problem
think?
if we do it inside the council meeting?
No, it's usually we've done that in the past, right?
Yeah. So then we wouldn't start the next council meeting until 7, because he's got a conflict of interest to get here before then.
Sure.
So we want to leave, the resolution for the council meeting, we want to change it after, is that what you're saying, after we have the,
We do it the first meeting in November. That's when we would start
When
the,
we do our resolution to change the council meetings to 6, we would
Yeah.
start the first meeting in November
got it.
compared to then we can run this through.
Okay.
First meeting in December,
December.
Oh, first
First
meeting.
meeting in
I mean,
December.
you could
We
do
would
it the
just-
second meeting of November too if you want to, but
whatever it is,
whatever,
but
just not the 12th.
Okay,
whatever.
Yeah, we need you.
Yeah.
okay.
If that's okay
so,
with you.
So, I guess I have no problem with however you guys want to do it, but
It's fine.
you want
it
to
at
set the
7
date for
o'clock,
that then at
November 12th at 7 o'clock?
For the public hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
November 12th at 7 o'clock? Did you make a motion,
So
Jack?
I'll make a motion
I don't, I,
to.
well, I don't
Oh,
need
you
more.
gotta-
I still have to go. I just want to, before I fill out my resolution, I want to make sure that that's okay with you guys. I know you were switching it to 6, so I just,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So, resolution number 2 tonight, with the council now kind of essentially passing the assessments to be declared. Next action is to then set that public hearing. The first being, council shall hold that public hearing at 7 PM, November 12th, 2024, here at the City Hall, 111 Main Street South, Pierz. And the second part, would that be then that we'd have to then mail it? We have, essentially, we have to advertise that in the newspaper 2 weeks prior to hearing, so, which means we'll be sending out tomorrow. So we'll send have that advertisement out too. Then we also have to send out notifications to all of the residents, essentially explain the process, what they're being assessed, what the process is for paying that assessment, for appealing their assessment, for, everything about that, the assessment process, will be included in that letter that we send out. So, that is that second resolution in a nutshell for you. 7 PM, November 12th.
You want to give her another try, Jackie?
Sorry, Jackie.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-1015-2, resolution for hearing on proposed assessment for the city of Pierz, Morrison County, state of Minnesota. Hearing shall be held at 7 PM on November 12th, 2024, in the City Hall located at 101 Main Street South, Pierz, Minnesota, 56364, to pass upon such proposed assessment.
If I can get a second?
I'll
Second.
second that.
Well, Sarah seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, Jared.
All right, thank you. That is all I have tonight, unless you have any questions for me. Nope. Good?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. So the next thing is a solar application for 206 Third Avenue Northwest. Do you guys have any discussion on it, or you guys talk about it, Gary, you and Donnie, or
Is it-
are you okay?
Electric committee discussed it, but there were no issues on our end that we
Right.
came up with.
Okay, so if I get a motion for that, I guess?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, somebody want to second it?
I'll second.
Okay, Jackie seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried for the solar application for 206 Third Avenue Northwest. Then we have Zach up here to talk about the Fairway mower purchase request.
Good evening, Council Mayor.
Good evening.
I've been looking for some used mowers. I found a fairway mower on Facebook over in Wisconsin, about 5 hours. Can't remember the exact town it's by, but it's the Tri-City Golf Course is who owns it. And he got a newer mower, and he's looking to sell this one. It was originally posted for $28,000. I offered him $25,000. He came back and said, "I'll meet you at $26,000. So I'd like to get approval to get that fairway mower. I think it'll meet our needs, matches the one we have. Pretty close, so working on it will be a lot easier, trying to figure out something new. And
Right. I did look at our dedicated funds for the golf course, and we have money to cover it. I'd like to keep some at some point for the clubhouse too, which we have ample money if we cover this, and we have money for the clubhouse for next spring too. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
okay. And then there also will be delivery. I'm going to go pick it up. Our vehicles with the city. I don't want to make that trip, so I'll be using my personal vehicle, and then I'll probably have to rent a trailer. But so.
I'll make the motion to buy a new used fairway mower.
New used fairway.
I'll second that.
Sarah seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, Zach, for your fairway mower 2018.
Thank you.
Next, we have a resolution for our city council time change. So we'd like to change from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and it's probably been 6 o'clock for I don't know how long. I mean, for 7 o'clock for I don't know how long, but we felt that it would just work better for everybody having at 6. So any discussion on it? And the only discussion we have is we want to start that first meeting in December. Was that what our discussion was before?
I think so, yeah.
Huh?
Basically.
Yeah, okay, so we want to get the date. So if I can get a motion for that,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-1015. So is that going to impede, because resolution, so it's -3? So it'll be -3 then? Okay. -3, adopting a change for the regular city council meeting time to 6 PM.
okay, Jackie makes the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say, what's the actual start date? 9th? Okay, I just want to know that. Thank you. And Gary, you said second?
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? A motion carried for the resolution for the city council time to change from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock, starting December 9th. Okay, so we have Bob Gruber up next.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm here on behalf of Rich Pierz Sewer and Water. There is, you guys have 3 board members representing the city of Pierz. I'm here to ask for Herb Brashofsky to be reappointed for another 2 years. So if you have questions, otherwise a motion to approve his reappointment for another 2 years.
If I can get a motion.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Herb Brashofsky for another 2 years.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Jackie seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So you're stuck with Herb for another 2 years.
Take it. Thank you.
The devil you know.
The next item we have is the seasonal campground rate. Tony approached Laura with it, and she was looking for our approval for that. We did discuss it at our park board meeting, and I believe, Donnie, were we 2150 last year, I think? 2100, something like that?
That sounds right.
Yeah, so we're going to go up to $2,300, and then we are going to delete the punch card that comes with it. So, yeah, and there also is tax, tax was figured in before. We're just going to show the tax number now. So if I could get, is there any discussion, you guys, on it?
Is there any incentives for that seasonal with deleting the punch card? Was there?
Well, we did Jack, we looked at,
I'd assume usage of people that have seasonal.
yeah, we looked at comparable campgrounds were still well under anybody else. So we're just looking at, if they want to play golf, they can, actually, honestly, if they really want to play a lot of golf, they can buy a membership there at the seasonal and then contribute that way.
I approve the increase to 23, or I'd make a motion to approve the increase to 2,300.
Jackie makes a motion to approve the increase on the camper seasonal to 2,300.
I'll second it.
Donnie seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to raise the price to 2,300 plus tax and no punch card. The next item is for the clubhouse is a air fan system that Donnie would like to talk about.
So I didn't have enough for everybody out there, but we are looking at upgrading our system, our hood system above where we do our frying and everything. And myself and another gentleman tomorrow evening will be going to look at a hood system, so forth. I just wanted the council to know that we are going to pursue it. We don't have a definite cost on it, and I'll come back to the council with that. But we were talking about upgrading it already. This is a used system compared to us having to buy a brand new. So it's just more or less just an informational thing for everybody out there.
Okay, thank you, Donnie.
Yep.
And you said that's tomorrow, right? I
Yes,
think?
tomorrow night.
Okay, so any questions on that, you guys? Jackie, good? Okay, so next item would be the treasurer's report for September.
Ending September balance was $3,831,101.45.
Is there any way, Kay, that if you took the loan amount that we're paying for, I'm just curious for the road, our road projects, if you took out what the balance we have for the loan, if we took it out of here, because at some point that's gonna come out of here. I'm just curious. I hate to throw, you can always email it to me too, I
Sure,
guess.
yeah, easy peasy. We'll just,
Yeah, I think we should, at some point, pull the loan out so we have a better understanding of what, because that loan money will be gone at some point, right? I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So then we'll give a better, I always like to have, I like to know how we're flowing, receivables less payables, and that loan kind of throws me for a loop a little bit.
sure.
Okay, thanks.
I'll make the motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll
Donnie
second.
makes motion, Jackie seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we got the claims.
Okay. Claims for September was $1,107,753.21.
I get a motion.
Make a motion to accept the claims report.
Gary makes motion.
Second.
Sarah seconds motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. So now we have the department updates. We have Zach is back up here. Just, we want to talk about the new 9 checklist that Zach was good enough to put together a couple of months ago to kind of keep us on track of what's going on out there.
Yes, good evening again.
I love this, by the way. On my Fridays when I read my I'm like,
You
oh
guys
my God.
you all got the checklist?
Yeah.
You want me to go through it, or?
Yeah, if we could, I guess it'd be nice.
Okay. So we got all the big washouts and all that packed in, filled 100%. The deep washouts and all that. Fixing the washboards, those small little ones that are in the fairways, we're about, that 80%. There's some that we can't see till we bring those last 2 fairways down. Jim and Ethan were actually out there today working on trying to find the bigger ones that they can see through the long grass, just to get that grass to hopefully grow through and be farther along next spring. Sod seeded, blanketed, there's a few just random off in the rough spots that aren't too crucial to the main play of the golf course that need to be done, about 5%, so 95% of the course is, I'd say, seeded. Wait until the washouts are done 100%. I mean, there's a lot of things that are 100%. Consistently update programs, that's basically.
That's what we like to hear, Zach.
That's 100%. Monitor pump house, it's at 100%. We're always doing that. Make sure all sprinklers, course wide, are adjusted to range and coverage. I thought we were farther along, and then it got dry, and then we found out which ones weren't hitting where they were supposed to and were crooked and things clogged and stuff like that. So we're, I'd say, about 80% with getting those to where we
But
want.
that's kind of normal though, right?
Yes, on a
Like,
new
it's-
build like that, things
it's
got put in,
normal.
they get over the winter, they settled, and they tilted one way, rocks got in the system and stuff and clogged things, and so it's just catching that. And unless you're out there watching it water at midnight sometimes, or
What? You're not there at midnight? What?
you
No, I'm just
can't
kidding.
see all of them, but when you're
24/7.
driving by during the day and you notice a random dry spot that, a sprinkler should be hitting that, you pop it up and figure out why. So fertilizing, for the most part, that's done for what needs to be done for the year. Mowing things to the proper height. Trying to.
What's the twice a week mow collars?
So we mow everything about twice a week to keep it at the right level.
Okay.
Once we open a course, usually it's 3 times a week to keep that extra grass not there so it looks cleaner and stuff. If you mow them when they're dry, you can deal with it being longer. So being you're not worrying about golfers, we waited for, now we're down to, a lot of things. This is my last week mowing. You're trying to go into winter, so you want to give it a little bit of extra height for going into winter. but you want to keep it used to being that height too, so you don't shock it next spring and bring it back down to that level. So that we're basically at 100%. I mean, it's that time of year, we're done mowing with those things.
So that 50% is really more that 100.
Oh, so that one, sorry, I was looking up here farther. So the twice a week mow collars, half of the collars have been designed.
Okay.
So half of them haven't been. So
Okay.
that's that one. That's why that's a 50%. So
Can you note that, Laura, in that notes, just that added, like, because half haven't been designed yet?
yes.
And that makes it more
And it's
informational for
over
us.
in
Thank you.
over design, complete and implement mowing layouts and tee boxes and collars over there. That's where it's at 80% there. So we got to do tee boxes yet, fairways, 2 of the fairways. Some of the fairways are halfways down. So we're at 70% of bringing everything down to where it needs to be. We have 2 fairways that are still at complete rough height yet, and they're going to stay that way until next spring. We have a fairway that's at trim mower height, so 1 1/4 inches. We got to bring that down to 5/8 yet. That's going to stay at that height. I mean, everything that's at where it's at, staying there through the rest of the year. We bring it down now, we have a chance of losing it through the winter. So it's going to stay there. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but a lot of those that have been started will get down to the proper height real quick. The 2 that are going to take a little bit longer is that 2 fairways that are at Roughmore. We got to start with the trim mower, let it grow through, because if you bring it down too quick, you'll kill it.
Is that 17 and 18?
That's 17 and 18. Those are the last 2 that we got to with washouts. We sodded those, so I had to wait for the sod to take before I could mow it. Otherwise, I was sucking it up with the rough mower and just all those things. And but it looks really good from a distance on those 2 fairways now that there's really no washouts anymore to be seen. So that's looking nice. Top desk screens, we did that about that 8 to 10 times, so that's done. It helps firm them up, get them smooth, and then mowing them. And greens, there's nothing stopping us from playing on those greens, other than the rest of the course isn't open and there's no flags in them. And then we did the top dressing, the airification, all that on the new 9 for the first time. That all went well. No issues with that. So, and then on the other page, a lot of this stuff is stuff that we're going to be doing in the off season to a point. The cart paths on 10, 11, and 12 with those steep hills and stuff, some of that washed out over winter and stuff. We refilled those in, got a roller, packed them. They look really nice, so we'll see. Hopefully now with them being packed and a lot more being settled, that they don't wash as bad if we get rain. If we do, we'll have to look into possibly tarring or how to take care of that issue. But I'm hoping with this gravel being was just put down last fall, it didn't really have any rain to get it to settle and pack. And then when it finally did rain, it just washed it out. So I'm hoping now that it's been packed, been driven on a lot of it, that should be good enough to get us through. And then the rest of the cart paths, I don't think we need most of them to open. We're going to put signs up and direct people where we want them to go. And then when certain areas start getting driven down, that's where we decide to put that golf cart path as we have time and we can do that. There's still a lot of that reclaimed millings up at the city dump site there. So we can bring that in as we get to that stuff. Tee markers, all that stuff, we got to get those, make those. We make the tee markers. Don was asking about that earlier. We just make those out of blocks and then paint them, and then we usually touch up the ones we had this year, repaint those, make new ones if there's some broken. So
That'll be kind of an off-season kind
that'll
of
be an
thing.
off season. So as soon as, there's trees trimming stuff and stuff we need to cut down, we'll be working on that stuff up until it gets either too cold or too icy or too much snow and we can't get out there. So we're gonna try and get that stuff done. And then, the making of the tee markers, ordering some of that stuff. We'll probably order some here this fall. Trash cans, do that stuff in the shop when we can't get out on the snow.
Zach, on the MGA, they came out and they measured on the 15th. We had met with Tony last week, but at that point, she said we've never heard back from them.
Yes, we're in email tag with them right now, trying to get the actual measurements from them.
Okay.
They weren't able to give us an actual slope rating yet because when they came out, there was no fairways designed yet other than 12. So they didn't know how wide they're going to be. And they're asking me, I'm like, well, I can roughly tell you where it is, but I need to mow it stand back and look at it and go, yes, this looks good, or I think it needs to be brought in, to try and, excuse me, do, do that without mowing it. It's hard to see.
So do we, is that a this fall thing yet, just, or is that where we wait till spring, because you haven't mowed the fairway more or less for
Want some water,
17,
Zach?
18?
Excuse me.
Some man that gets
Might need
choked
to
up
say that
over a
Well, I
jar.
guess, yeah.
We can appreciate that.
Hey, this is an emotional subject, trust me.
Suppers or something that didn't, got lodged or something there. Sorry, what was your question again?
Well, it was, is this something that we have to wait till next spring because we don't have 17 and 18
Yes,
more or less fairway mowed to where we know what the fairway is?
we'll be able to get the yardages, put on the
Okay.
scorecards and stuff. On the signs, that's all you put on there. You don't put the slope on the
Right.
sign.
Yep.
It's the scorecards that get the slope, the rating of which hole's the hardest and the easiest.
Okay,
So yes, I think they'll come back out next year when everything's done to
right
do the
away and do it.
slope.
Okay,
But
no
we'll at least
problem.
be able to get the yardages correct.
Yep. Sounds good. Take some more water.
Anything? Is there any other questions?
Yeah,
We're
I
pretty
got
much
the
done
million
there.
dollar question, Zach. Here's the million dollar question. For some reason, over the last couple of years, I got really good at asking this question. But so we had just to let everybody know, we had a park board meeting last week, and actually Todd is here from the park board, just listening in. But and then Donnie and myself run it. So we're trying to figure out an opening date. And part of the reason is we have to plan for, we can't plan 2 weeks before we know it's going to open. So here, and Todd, you're welcome to interject, but raise your hand. Okay, thank you. So we're not going to hold you to it, Zach, because we know how, I mean, the last 2 years we had no rain and then too much rain. And so and I grew up on a dairy farm, so I understand how the weather works. But so if everything, goes according to plan, we have a good spring or average spring, we get snowfall, it all melts good. Do you need some more water?
I'm listening, but
Okay.
I don't know what happened. There's something caught in my throat.
So what and we're not going to hold you to it, but we have a lot of people that ask us every day when we're going to open, and obviously we all have our own ideas, and we appreciate everything you're doing to help get to that point. Are you all right?
Excuse me.
You're fine.
Todd, you want to take over? Todd, you want to take over? I'll ask you the
I
question.
explained when it's gonna open.
Well, let's give Zach a little break. Let's give Zach a little break. He's thinking it over. So let's go. We got Laura, you're up next. We'll bring Zach back. You can take a little break, Zach. Are you all right now?
Yes.
Are you okay? So anyhow, we've been throwing different dates out there. So I'm just trying to kind of fill in. My idea is.
You're asking for a perfect world scenario.
Yeah, I am. And if it happens that you just give us a date. If we can open it sooner, then we can do a soft opening. We don't have to have the grand opening when the first guy hits the club. You know what I mean? The other thing I wanted to state for everybody is, as a council, we're not expecting a perfect golf course. We don't expect that. We expect that if there's some rough spots, there'll be some ropes up, or if you're trying to patch something that, they can drop a ball, they can pick it up and drop it. But there's a lot of people excited. So with all of that said, what is your
So
knowledge?
average, I'm gonna say June 31st. If we have a better than average spring, then bring that up, a couple weeks.
Great.
Next spring, as soon as it starts warming up and I get to see what is coming back, that would be my best guess to know where we're gonna be. Because we're going into the winter here, everything's not established yet. Some of it doesn't have full roots.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the big deciding thing is, if we all of a sudden have a fairway that's gone because something happened for some weird reason, then that's,
Yep.
changing that story. But everything going good. It's that, middle to end of June.
Perfect. That's awesome. So, and then what we do, as you know, we support it with equipment and golf carts and things like that. So we have a lot of stuff planned. And as you know, we want to get it open so we can create a cash flow so we can actually pay for the stuff that we're investing in it. And like I said, you're doing a great job out there. And so good. That's what actually I think that's what a lot of people they're going to be glad to hear that there's an actual end of the tunnel
Yeah.
for this thing. So awesome. Do anybody else have any questions?
I guess I was gonna give a little bit of an update, the
Oh,
current
go ahead.
9 and where we're at with that too, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So next week, we're looking at getting the air compressor to blow out all the lines with the campground, the clubhouse, the shelters, the clubhouse. We hooked up a valve. Bob asked us last year if we could hook up a valve to bypass it so we can leave the clubhouse on if it looks like we're gonna have warm weather for golfers. So I'll be talking with Tony early next week and seeing what the weather looks like for that following weekend after next week, because we're middle of next week. Wednesday, Thursday is when we blow stuff out. And so it's nice to do it all at once and be done. But if it looks like we might have golfers and we can make some more money, then let's stay open. So, and to blow out just the clubhouse with our shop air compressor, we did it last year. Everything worked fine, no issues. So I don't know why we can't do that again this year. So that's where that's at. We got the dam boards out. And just, spraying. I got to find the weather to drop below 60 degrees consistently. Then I can spray the snow mold application. Basically, you're spraying it for next year. So if you want the wet grass to stop growing and stay cool. So looking for calm days to get that all done. But other than that, I think everything's just going along good.
Great. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Zach, there's no sectional cross-country meets out there no more this year, right? The meets are all done?
Tony would be the one to ask for that.
I actually asked that question. There is no more.
Okay, so there's no then. Anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Thanks,
Thank
Zach.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about the cough attack or whatever.
Yeah.
COVID.
So, okay, so then we have, the next on the agenda, we have Laura.
I was just gonna give an update that Eric Gaffke and myself will be attending the 2024 municipal customer meeting for Minnesota Power. It's something I guess we do yearly, so.
And can you went to a leadership meeting last week, right? How'd that go?
I did go to it. Actually found I have been attending quite a few educational courses that the league puts on, free of charge to the city. It's just the league does it. Sourcewell go together. And the open meeting law was actually way more interesting than the leadership meeting, but the leadership meeting was good. It's just open meeting law. I was able to, I know exactly what they're talking about with this. It was nice.
It was like clicking.
Yeah,
Aw, that's
it
great.
was really
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, the leadership was good as well. But
How was the clerk training?
clerk was really good. That was very informational. It'd be something I'd want to attend again because of how much clicks with it once you are doing it. So I do appreciate that you guys sent me to that. So thank you.
Good. Okay, is that it then?
That was all I had.
Anybody on the council, any updates at all? I don't have nothing either.
Nope. Then I'll make a motion to adjourn if you'll let me.
Yeah, I will. Donnie makes a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Sarah seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to adjourn.